Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Walker Talks. I'm Lacey Smith with the Walker County Chamber of Commerce, joined by Pastor Ashley Mew from the Gordon Lake Wesleyan Church, who's also on our board of directors. And today we have John and Brittany from First Financial Bank. Welcome, guys.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, glad to be here.
We're excited to dive in and talk about what you guys have going on. We've had a lot going on in the life of the chamber over the past week, too.
Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah.
It's good to be back, and yeah, you've been pretty busy, it seems like.
Well, our community has been busy. Our region has been busy. We started out Sunday evening. We actually co-hosted a welcoming reception for a tourism conference that we had. We were partnering with the Alliance for Dade, which is Dade County's chamber, and the Northwest Georgia and Northeast Georgia Travel Associations. We're actually having a conference here in Walker County for tourism. It was held at the beautiful Macklemore Resort, so we were excited to be up there for that on Monday. And then yesterday we had a statewide tourism conference in Dalton. And then we actually just had the ribbon cutting for the new Common Spirit Hospital over on Battlefield Parkway. I joked with our colleague Amy Jackson over in Catoosa County. I told her I think I've seen her every day this week. So it's been good for our region. It's good to see North Georgia growing.
Yeah, it is. It's exciting. You're going to need a day off, it sounds like.
I think so.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, and the weather's been amazing, right? For this time of year, it's been warm and
starting to warm up. The Bradford pears, I know they're everybody's favorite, right?
It's a pretty day. I heard someone say one time when it's pretty outside and everything, the weather's perfect, the sky's perfect. It's a Chamber of Commerce kind of day. And so we're happy for Chamber of Commerce kind of days in Walker County.
We like to hear that. We do have our One Walker event coming up at the end of the month. That's going to be on March the 24th at the Lafayette Golf Course. I saw Mayor Andy Arnold earlier. He always does such a great job of giving essentially what is the state of the city update and just goes over all of the great happenings that are going on in the city of Lafayette. Also failed to mention our leadership class met yesterday. They actually got to tour Lafayette. They went to the Mars Theater District, Roper Corporation, our largest employer here in Walker County. So they got a glimpse of what we have to offer here as well.
Very cool. Leadership's awesome. I've shared that. Something I'd like to do again at some point because it's been a few years now. But yes, our One Walker luncheons are so fun. I love getting together, seeing our friends and community neighbors, and Lafayette is always a lot of fun to go to and hear from the mayor and his constituents and all those he gets involved, and he does a great job of giving an update on the city of Lafayette, and he always drops a bomb. He shares something that maybe we don't know.
Yes.
It's like pulls the curtain back a little bit, and so he's always fun about that.
Yeah. And if you've driven down there, from the square over to the Mars Theater District, you can see everything that's happening. They've got that rock wall coming up, and just all of the activity where they're connecting kind of the Mars Theater District to the downtown area too. It's exciting to learn and see what they have next.
We drove through there a couple of months ago, and my kids were like, "When did they get a skate park?"
Oh yeah.
So it's awesome to see how it's growing up, and the walking trail and everything that's being developed, and
I always
cool.
I like to hear about the funding opportunities for that because, there's a lot of grants that go into that to try to develop those areas. And they do a great job down there of keeping tabs on how they can pull in those dollars and utilize them locally. So.
Yeah, they really do. They do a wonderful job. Yeah. Sure.
Well, speaking of local dollars, guys, we have our friends from First Financial. How are you?
Doing good.
Good. Well, so tell us about the history of First Financial in Walker County.
Yeah, so we originally started in 1963 as Rossville Bank. We grew, within Walker County. We have two locations, Rossville off Chickamauga Avenue, and I'm the banking center manager at the Flintstone location on Chattanooga Valley Road. And so in July of 2024, we merged with First Financial Bank. And I just want to tell you a little bit of history about them. They were established in 1834. They are the oldest national bank in Indiana. They are the fifth oldest national bank across the United States. Few cool things about us. We just recently were nominated top 20 bank by Forbes. Also, we're in the top 100 agriculture and lending bank in the United States. That's pulled from the American Bankers Association. So, just to show the longevity of the bank and how vital we are to communities, one thing that I am extremely proud of is you don't see us in the big cities. So the smaller areas of 5 to 10,000 population, like Flintstone, Rossville, those are the areas that they want to be in. We are very thankful to be established as a community bank and be a part of our communities.
Well, I grew up in Rossville, and so everybody knew it as the Rossville Bank. We still call it the Rossville Bank, I think. And so, talk a little bit more about those connections in the community and why is that so important for you guys to get ingrained. I know you've been involved with the chamber too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally have always believed that banking is a relationship business. A lot of people are used to calling people in my role a commercial lender, but I think in the last 5 years, I think that's appropriately evolved to be described as a relationship manager. That's my job description now. So, in that role, it's my job to get to know you and your business, figure out how we can come alongside and support, help you grow, figure out which services would be helpful to you as you try to achieve your goals. We have the lending aspect, which is primarily what I do, but we also have great banking center managers that can help with your day-to-day transactions and full suite of treasury services to build out that online banking profile. So definitely, as Brittany mentioned, an experienced, long-standing bank, but we've done a great job of, as we grow, one of the nice things about having gone through the merger is now we're part of a larger organization that has great resources behind it, great tools for people to use in what's now a combination between in-person relationship banking and a digital age, and helping us kind of navigate both of those things in a healthy way.
Absolutely.
It's really neat to hear excuse me, all the accolades behind First Financial and how they rank and excuse me, being around since the 1800s. That's phenomenal. My kids like to joke with me. And they say, Dad, you're from the 1900s. And they're not wrong.
They're not wrong.
They're not wrong, unfortunately, but they say I'm ancient. So, but you mentioned agriculture. They're one of the leaders in agricultural lending. And we certainly have a lot of agriculture in Walker County and among others, businesses and organizations. But what are some of the other services that you offer to commercial lenders in the community?
So me being on the what we call the retail side as a banking center manager, I am so thankful that I have the best what we call business lines of credit or business partners like John that help in those areas. So I really pride myself on being a personal banker and building that personal relationship. But at the end of the day, I couldn't do it without Nanette, my mortgage lender, my wealth advisor, Sabrina Potter, my commercial lenders like John, Craig, and John Michael. And so, we are a small community bank, but with our 80-ish so branches, we are able to give what people would say would come from big banking, but we maintain that integrity and that personal relationship. And I really feel like that's what sets us apart, especially in a Walker County type of feel, is we can give you all of those benefits that a big bank can, but we value the relationship. And that's what's most important to me as a banking center manager is that relationship.
Yeah, that's so key.
Yeah. Well, I want to circle back because you said your kids were giving you a hard time about being born in the 1900s. You could just tell them you're antique. So that's trendy right now.
And wise and
all the things.
Everything that's old becomes new again.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, and speaking of, that's part of what we're seeing at the north end of the county. We're seeing some growth. We're seeing, years ago, people, kind of went to Rossville for the shopping. Not so much the case now, but we do have some growth coming in from the south side of Chattanooga, especially over toward the Flintstone area as well. What are you seeing at the north end of the county? What do you want people to know about doing business there with you guys, whether it's in Flintstone or Rossville?
A couple thoughts on that. I would say that Rossville and Walker County are in a great position to rise with the tide of everything that's happening in our region. I know Chattanooga, just across the state line in Tennessee, is getting a lot of good publicity as far as being a great work from home place, lots of beautiful landscaping and great place to live, work, play, raise a family. I think all those things are equally applicable to Walker County, Rossville, and the communities around here. I've had the pleasure of being directly involved with several businesses in Rossville that are part of. They're thriving in that environment. They're helping to redevelop and bring a facelift to that business corridor that has maybe a little bit of a need for some more of that to happen, but we've loved to see the little bits and pieces that people are starting to do, as well as some real estate development, making more beautiful homes for families to look to move to Rossville to raise their families and have a great place to live. So it's been great to be able to participate in some of that. And one thing that brings me joy is driving down and being able to see like, oh, I helped that business move into this location. I helped somebody develop this neighborhood or this home, and just kind of seeing little nuggets of what we get to participate in the awesome things that the community is doing.
And to back on that, I think that we're really well positioned in the areas of Georgia. From one end of 2A to the other, there is, a banking location. We have two, like I've mentioned, two right here in Walker County. And so I think that's just really set us up to, as we see that tourism growth coming from Chattanooga, we do have brick and mortars right there to help with that growth. Also, he's stationed in the LPO in Chattanooga, but this guy, let me tell you, he is out and about, hitting the ground running, will meet you where you are, whether that be in Walker County, Catoosa, whatever that looks like for him. We're like going back to that community banking feel. We are here for you. We are here to meet your needs. So just because our brick and mortar may be in Flintstone or Rossville, just know that I can speak for myself, and I know I can speak for John. We will meet you where you're at, whether that be a financial meet you where you're at, a physical location. We just want to see Rossville boom. We want to see Chickamauga boom. We want to be a part of that. And so whatever that looks like for your business, just know that, we do value that relationship over anything.
So in the Rossville area in particular, do you know, I know at one point there were some incentives, opportunity zone type incentives. Do you have any? I'll have to circle back on that.
Yeah, so there was some grants that I had heard about were coming through, but I don't know enough to speak about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
We'll have to get some information on that and have somebody come on. I know at one point, previously when I was with the chamber, that was an initiative that was helping, I think, drive a little bit of growth in the north end of the county where it is obviously needed, as we've touched on before. You also mentioned some industrial machine lending and that sort of thing. We are a heavy manufacturing community as well here in Walker County. So what does that look like for people who are trying to replace outdated machinery?
Yeah, that's a great question. So just a brief overview, like as an idea of what types of things we can excel at and look for an opportunity to serve the folks in this community. Anybody in that industrial manufacturing space, multiple ways that we like to get involved is if you've gotten your business going and it's booming and looking to grow, and you've been renting your property and now you're looking to buy for the first time. That's a great place for us to come in and help walk you through that process. If you already own your property and things are going well and you need to expand, we can help figure out what that looks like, help finance that opportunity, but also just in the day-to-day operations themselves. For most of last year and going into this year, that's been an emphasis of ours to help provide equipment financing. So we have some special products and special terms out there for those that are looking to invest in some larger, manufacturing type of equipment. So we'd be happy to talk through that and see if that could be a good fit for anybody that's in that space of looking to fill that need.
I want to circle back to something you said earlier. You mentioned a couple of times, both of you, about relationships,
Yes.
how that is key.
Yes.
And you also talked about how being a part of a bigger bank and organization, you can provide services that maybe a smaller bank can't, but also be very relational and personal and meet you where you are and that sort of thing. Hometown bank feel. So, for organizations, businesses, even churches like myself, growing big is may seem good, but you want to stay small in so many ways.
Yeah.
And so, how has being a part of the chamber helped you with maintaining and building those relationships in the community, as well as other goals that you've been trying to accomplish?
Yeah, so a little background on me is I did come from big banking. And when I stepped into community banking, I realized that's where it's at. People over sales, relationships over quotas. And yes, we have growth opportunities as well, but community banking has really, and especially First Financial, it's one of our core values is build community. I mean, for a company to have that in their core value and to practice what they preach is invaluable to me. So they empower me as a banking center manager to get involved in nonprofits, to get involved in my chamber, to make those connections, because from the top down, from our CEO to me as a banking center manager, it is relationships. That's what we talk about day in and day out. And so one of the things that helps me is my leads group. I come to the Chickamauga leads group. I invite you to come. Just again, building those relationships with people that, the best compliment someone ever can give me is a referral. And so being a part of that leads group and talking about something that I have going on at the bank, or maybe an interest rate that I can offer, you never know that they might get to a family reunion and the cousins mention something. And that's happened to me a couple of times. And so being a part of this chamber and the value that y'all bring to connections, especially knowing Walker County is so widespread, but with those ribbon cuttings and with the ambassador meetings and the chamber network lunchings and even just our leads group, it just brings that into just that. It's just a small world and everybody knows everybody, and you never know what a need may be. And so I really value my leads group and those connections that I've made with people.
And I would say for me, I may not get a chance to personally get to meet all the great businesses and individuals in this community, but I might only be 1 or 2 degrees of separation away from them. And so what I seek to do in my role is to thrive and provide great communication, great availability to everybody that I'm working with. And so when they're in conversation with somebody and they're raising frustrations or desires, and then I'm the person that they think of to help with that. Part of the reason I think that this job is what I'm supposed to be doing is because what brings me joy and fulfillment is connecting people to their goals and helping them achieve them, whether I can participate in that or whether I know somebody that would be a good fit. Like for example, I work with a local business here in North Georgia that's a products provider, and I was able to connect them with another client of mine that is in the real estate development space, and now they're one of their biggest clients, and they're working together because I'm always looking for ways to make those connections for people fitting into that. This is a relationship business, and so if I do my job right and if I do my job well, then I'm providing an excellent level of service and partnership to the people and businesses that we're working with that helps them grow, but then they can also share that with their peers and their business partners, and we can all rise together. So,
And one more thing about the connections as well, I someone can sit at my desk and I can get John on the phone, and I think that's so invaluable, because there's sometimes you'll ask people, when's the last time you heard from your banker? I don't know, and so us being such a tight-knit family, so to speak, I mean, I can call them right now and I got a question, someone's sitting at my desk, or hey, I see that you're the loan officer. They were expressing some frustration, and so us just being really good business partners, we can kind of just come together, one job, one family, and get what the client needs in a timely manner.
But it's few and far between when people are expressing frustrations.
All part of the job, right?
Yes. I think that just goes with community service in general.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
And I like the part you mentioned about connections. They always say 6 degrees of separation, and I always like to say in Walker County it's probably more like 3 or 4.
Yeah.
So, Brittany, I'm going to put you on the spot there too, because I know you also represent another member business of ours, and that's the Kiwanis Club.
Yeah.
You want to give a shout out to any of the work that they're doing? I know they're doing some great work with the Key Club as well.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, that Key Club. That Kiwanis group is an amazing group. I'm the vice president of Kiwanis for Oglethorpe. We serve both Catoosa and Walker County. Our SLPs, what we call service leadership programs, those are our key clubs or our action clubs. Action Club is a leadership club for adults with disabilities. So we're in the process of talking with Orange Grove to get a club going for them. But 3 things that we do really, really well is we have Gordon Lee Key Club, Ridgeland Key Club, and Heritage Key Club. And let me tell you, that blesses my heart more than anything, because seeing these young folks, I feel like this generation of high schoolers just kind of get a hard knock. And those kids, they blow it out of the water. They have a heart for their community. They have a heart to service others. And that's so vitally important for our next generation of leaders, to know that the next up and coming pastors, bankers, chamber leaders are going to have that servant heart right here in Walker County. And I am so blessed to be a part of Kiwanis, so I can be just a small part of that.
So if people want to get involved in that initiative too, how would they do that?
So we have a Facebook page, Kiwanis for Oglethorpe. We also meet the 2nd and 4th Thursdays at Park Place Restaurant at noon.
Wow, yeah. I've got a son that's going to be a rising freshman.
Oh.
So we had our parent meeting at the local high school recently, and
Did you
the
shed a
principal.
tear a little bit?
No, it was okay. My wife may have. But the principal gave a shout out to the Key Club.
Yeah.
And said this is a great way to get involved. So
Yeah. The original
my son might consider that.
Yeah, the Ridgeland Key Club has won accolades for, they go monthly to the Ronald McDonald House and serve families there. Gordon Lee knocks it out of the water. I mean, that club is up and going. And actually, the lieutenant governor is housed out of Gordon Lee. So just that next level of just leadership that these kids really shouldn't be getting until after they graduate college, and they're going into college with that. I mean, it just sets them apart.
Well, if they're budding entrepreneurs, they
Yes.
could go to First Financial and get some lending for them.
And then join the chamber.
Yes, and then join the chamber. We'll happily do a ribbon cutting.
All those things.
All
Yes.
of those things.
Yes.
Well, thank you again for joining
Yeah, thank
us.
you for having us.
Pleasure.
Great information.
Yeah.
You can look at First Financial's Facebook page and website for more info, or you can come to a Leads meeting and meet Miss Brittany for yourself. Until next time.
Yeah.
And also, Carol goes to the Rossville League.
Carol does. And
Yeah.
Carol was instrumental in helping us. She sponsored the November luncheon that we had in Rossville too. So still active. We have a Leads group in Rossville as well that Carol comes to. We'd love to have more people get involved with the chamber and see how we can help your business grow. Until next time, everyone, thanks for tuning in. Catch another episode soon.